Well, hello, y'all. This is Colonel Braxton Beauregard Burlique the Fifth, adventurer, treasure hunter, swashbuckler extraordinaire, at your service, madam. Well, today is going to be kind of a follow-up to my previous video. I'm going to do kind of a thing here. As you can look, I'm kind of panning my camera around. I have here a couple items of, there's a World War I Austrian helmet. I've had that laying around for years. And over here I have a Japanese helmet over there, and other little trinkets that I've picked up, like I said, over the years. This video is kind of a follow-up to the one that boy did, and Military Review. That boy, it's amazing, his stuff. But he did a follow-up video showing what he calls the bottom of the barrel fakes, and I have that right there on the screen, and it's very interesting here. I kind of lost, where am I here? Let me see here. Oh, this is his video, and on this part here, he's talking about people comment on Whitman's channel about him. Let me just kind of see what.
Militaria, and uses your videos to criticize.
Yes.
I've never in any of my videos explicitly stated I'm an expert on the subject.
No, he hasn't, and by all means, I'm not an expert either. All I can tell you is over the years, I've been collecting, all this Militaria for decades, and I'm not, even with that, I'm not even saying that I'm an expert. I'm just, a few things I picked up over the years. And this boy, I give him credit. He never said he was an expert either. So, that's kind of a disclaimer there.
I'm an expert on World War II German militaria.
Yeah.
I'm just someone who's passionate about it, who can pull out quite easy fakes.
Yes.
I'm not pulling out very minute, detailed fakes. I'm pulling out,
yes, that's right.
That, me calling out well-known fakes, something that you'll despise, is something you hate. But have his channel barred. But I'm going to put something up right now. You'll notice that the Military Review channel, even though it has access to being monetized, it has
he's got, yes,
time, generates no profit.
One thing I'll make a comment here. The boy, he's right. He's not making any profit. I'm not making any profit here. But I'll say this. In the use of what some would say like copyrighted material, and I'm not any one of these lawyer type fellas, but I will tell you this: if you are making a commentary on some some material, that's considered what they call fair use. That's why, like you see these here news commentators, they're using clips from shows and other news broadcasts. They're giving their commentary, and that's what they call under copyright law fair use doctrine, just as I'm using all this material from Whitman and this boy, and that's a fair use. So there's no problem there, son. He didn't mention that, but I just wanted to mention it for him.
No ads on my video.
Yes.
I put no money generating features on it.
Sure.
Funny,
it's kind of moving.
So I get a lot of emails, as I've said. So I'm not so nice. Information on Walter's wrongdoing. So funny one that I got last week. So here's a snippet. Here's the email. Here's a bit of voice, and this.
Yes. Look at this. Threatening the boy. I'm not even going to dignify the reading this. You can watch the boy's video, and you can see it here on the screen. Threatening to shoot the boy. Well, why? Let me ask you this. And this kid in his video, because this is the aftermath of his 2 blockbuster videos, he talks about that he got 3 death threats on this. We're counting 3. Well, my answer to that, what are they so upset about? All you're doing is trying to help people by pointing out the phony items. I just don't see, unless the people threatening you, they have, as they say, a dog in the race. Maybe that they're importing this garbage, and maybe they're dealers. I don't know, but unless you're a kook or you got some dog in the race, you're going to go around. That's a terroristic threat. Again, I'm telling this boy about the legalities, but it's a terroristic threat. It's a criminal offense. The FBI should be investigating that. But anyway, I would say this: whether they come after him, I'm sure he's well equipped, and I can tell you this, that I'm well equipped. I'm not worried about any of these nutcases threatening the old colonel. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So get that out of the way.
You're reacting to it.
Yes.
I ever see you
Repeating fake, and it's applicable.
Oh, and here's a thing here. Here's a great tip this kid gives in this video. He's talking about the pin backs, and he points out, like here, that that's a coffin shape, and that would be a legitimate one. And you know, I myself, I have a number of these pins, and including, as you know, this would apply to these tennies. Here's a Nazi party pin, and you know, I'll tell you what. As soon as I saw this kid's video, I couldn't wait to run over to my desk drawer and pick through my mementos and flip it. And fortunately, I got a good one. You know, so I was very relieved that the old colonel didn't get a fake on that one. Of course, I've had this pin for a long time. But anyway, pay attention, son. I'm trying to learn you something here. Now, or should I use like they did in school? Perhaps I should ring the bell when there's a point. There, son, there's a little point, a little tip. This boy's going to save you some money and stop somebody from making a horse's ass out of you if you go out to the show and you're buying yourself a phony pin.
So across here, I've given you.
Now that's a great tip. And then he goes on, he points out, look at the crazy prices on this stuff. People paying obscene amount of money.
Absolute best thing.
Then he flips them over.
So somebody in this auction has paid for that garbage. That's
yes,
and is a gout tag. These are rubbish. So somebody in this auction has paid for that.
That's
garbage.
right.
That's an example. Here is a gout tag, party day pin.
But here's something amazing. These are tinnies. Now this would be like the party day. You know, they'd have the big rallies in either Munich or Nuremberg. And the thing is, the tinnies were made for mass consumptions. They would have made thousands upon thousands of these. There were tens of thousands of people attending this. Some of these rallies, I think it was over 100,000, plus people that just showed up and couldn't get in. So they would be selling these tinnies, and for a number of years, at least I thought this, that they were not reproducing these, but now this boy points out they're even faking those. It's amazing. I guess probably there's such demand for this stuff that you know, even these party tinnies, which were considered a cheap item, that now they're, you know, they're more desirable. And he goes on, and I mean, it's just a steady parade. He shows, you know, there's another fake that was on a site, and then he recommends this here book, which I'm going to have to get myself a copy. I've heard of this book, but I have to tell you that I never really went out and purchased it, but I'm definitely going to get a copy of that. But you know, his tip alone about that, you know, the fastener on there, that coffin shape, that's a great tip. That is a great tip. You know, if I hadn't watched his video, I might have just thought that was a variation of, you know, the different pin backs that they had. And then he goes on. Here's another thing he makes a great point on. It's these Olympic
36 Olympics
things
Militaria,
here. Yes.
Boom, sort of
Oh, I know.
Turned up in the last decade. You can see Uncle Addy over there, seen playing his video.
Yes.
Playing something on his chair there. But we're going to look at some of the worst fakes that have come out this sort of.
And what's amazing, I can't believe the stuff he brought. But you know, one thing he didn't mention, which is important, I actually had somebody, one of my friends, tell me this after this video came out. He said, well, you know what? While I'm telling a story, y'all don't mind if I have myself a little drink here. Oh yes, that's very good. Nice to have a nice drink at the end of a long day. But anyway, what the story was is that in 1936, that the International Olympic Committee, you know, obviously they were appalled by Nazism and all the trappings of it, and they refused to grant the German government the authority to use the 5 rings, the Olympic design. And what I'm told is, and this actually, I understand this is also circulated on some of these forums, that the International Olympic Committee refused to give permission to the German government to use the 5 rings, and hence there was never any authorized 1936 Olympic gift issued by the Germans that was official. Now, the argument could be that, well, yes, Colonel, but they, the Nazis could have just made it anyway, and screw the Olympic Committee. But I have to tell you that I don't think that happened, because merchandising is an important thing, and as far as I know, I'm not aware of any violation of that. Maybe somebody out there could prove that wrong. I don't know, but he points out, and he goes through his examples here, which we'll kind of cover, kind of quick. Let me see here. Oh, here he shows the pin backs for these. These are ones that were advertised, and they all have the coffin.
So,
yes.
This is sort of the tidal wave of fantasy.
I know, and he's right. And I can tell you this: there was a story that was out a few years ago saying, well, there was a cache of these 50 of these Olympic Stadium helmets, and they were for the German police to guard the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. And they had the runes, I shouldn't say the runes, the rings on the side like that with the Nazi eagle and swastika. And this was a great find. And they were selling, at least one of them I know, went for an obscene amount of money. And I'm talking like $25,000, $30,000, saying that these were special helmets and that. And now it turns out, from what this information this boy is providing, he doesn't even mention the helmets, that would have been a phony item. They probably took a regular police helmet and put that on there. But so he talks all the fantasy stuff, this Olympic stuff that brought out, and what else? Oh, then this is something.
Barely offers money back, but it says, once sold, it stays sold, because it's 100% original.
See, this is on that Germania International site, and they're a big advertiser in that Military Trader magazine. And you know what? I just remembered something. I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to go get something that's on my other desk. Hang on. Okay, I'm back. What I was reading here, and this here is in the magazine. As you can see, it's the Military Trade. It's the July 2021 issue. Now, here's a display ad from this Germania International. And what's funny about them is they're trying to sell these fake Hitler banners, but what I like is this. They go, we now offer tapestry that depicts the personal standard of Adolf Hitler, Chancellor of Germany's Third Reich. And then they go on, they're saying about the, quality done, blah, blah. And then they go here, it says, it is made in USA, and we are the only company with a patent on these and other history-themed tapestries that we offer. Examples possibly offered on any other site are patent infringements and inferior in quality. What I would say to that is, number one, son, again, I'm not trying to play the lawyer, but you can only patent a process, procedure, an invention. They're talking a design. Well, I got news for those boys. That would come under copyright law, and that would be in the public domain. So that's a bunch of horse shit that them saying they have a patent on that. Well, show me the patent. What's your number? I'm going to see. And this is this Germania International, and this is the company this boy's talking about. And, we'll just lay the magazine aside for now. But anyway, so he's talking, they're offering these pins, and they're saying, 100% original, but they're not going to let you return it. Well, if it was original, they'd have a money-back guarantee. What kind of company is that? And they're supposed to be reputable, and they're taking ads out in the Militaria magazines. Amazing.
If you want it, buy it and enjoy it.
Yes.
If that fills you with confidence when you're buying a badge, just fucking go the other way.
Yeah, that's right. And here's another thing. This boy. Look at this. Here's another thing. Complete fantasy piece. 1936 Hitler Youth Olympic knife. It shows, look at that. It has the emblems on. Let's see if we can get a better picture here. Now, he mentions this IMA. That's at what is that? Imported Militaria Association. I've heard of them. Been around a number of years. They sell a bunch of overpriced junk. You know, they had the big thing a few years ago. We bought the armory of some I don't know, it was some kingdom I think over there and like the Far East, and they're going, oh yes, we have these Martini and Henry rifles. We have this, we have that. Well, they put it in the fine print. They're not British made. They were knockoffs that were made in that country like over 100 and some years ago. They're not original. I mean, they're not original British Enfield. If I want a Martini Henry rifle, I'm going to buy a British-made one, not some junk one that is in relic condition that's been laying in some damp basement for 120 years. But they got away selling all that crap for big money. And now apparently they've moved into selling these fantasy pieces, a Hitler Youth Olympic knife, and I don't even know if those are real knives. They could have been originals that they had put the insignia on. I'm going to see if he had another example, I think, on it. Here. Now look, you see the runes. Now this could be that actually could be a period knife that they made up this phony paper thing for, and then they put the etching on, or it could be a phony knife that they just laid to kind of discolor the blade. I'm going to tell a little story after this.
See on all the forums, they just poo-pooed their garbage.
And those people on those forums are pretty smart, and this Germany International offered the same knife, and they got a limited amount of them. This reminds me of a story, and this is one a few years ago. I was walking through actually that Mac show up there in Pittsburgh, and they moved that show now. Now it's going to be in York, PA, this fall, and I'll definitely be the old colonel will be at that one. But I will tell you this: I was walking through there with a friend of mine, and we walked by this stand, a table. The tables, they had all these. They looked like brand new German daggers, but they were Hitler Youth daggers. And we got the guy practically collared us. We didn't even stop there. He goes, hey, well, why don't you come over here? And, then he starts on this spiel about saying that he was able to obtain from the factory, one of these companies in Germany that made the Hitler Youth knives. He was saying that he got these unissued knives that were at the factory, and he's bragging to me saying, well, yes, these have low issue numbers. And, I said, well, if they have issue numbers, why wouldn't those have been issued? They wouldn't be at the factory. They would have been issued to the member of the Hitler Youth. And, you're pulling out a knife that was issued 1938, has its number. Why would that not have been issued? And he hemmed and hawed, and I don't know. Maybe he was trying to. I don't know what he. I can't even remember his response. Even my friend said, he could have at least said maybe it was a reissued knife, that one that had been lost. It was early number, but he didn't even say that. But he was trying to sell us one of these knives for the sum of $1,800. And they looked like they were made yesterday, which they could very well have been. I'm thinking, why would this factory, this knife factory in Germany, why would they have these knives laying for 70-some years after the fact, and all of a sudden they discover them, they're going to sell them all to you? This guy who shows up. It's just a very, very unlikely story. And these knives here go a step further with the phony Olympic stuff. And the boy makes a great point. They never issued a Hitler Youth Olympic knife, even as much as you wish they did and think they did. And look, there's another one he brings out about. Here's another one. It's another, let's see what he says on this one.
If you want to go further into them, but these, if you see them around dealers selling them as super special, just walk the other way, guys, because this is just utter garbage.
Yes. Now look at this one. Nuremberg. They had the party rails every year. Now they're trying to sell, saying there was a Hitler Youth knife issued, I guess, for every year of that. And we know that, you know what? Why has that not appeared in any books? I've never seen that in any books, whether it was Johnson, Whitman, any of these boys. That's never shown up. All of a sudden now, all these sites are selling them. It's crazy, all the crap that's out there. Let's see what else the boy has. Oh! Here's a classic here.
The worst of the worst stuff that's popped up that I've seen. This is the Deutsches Zeppelin thermometer from, one of our star attendants on the left there. But it's just a horrible repo.
Yes, I mean, this is a complete fantasy piece. And the boy brings that out. I've never seen one of these. And, he was showing this in the video to Whitman. He got this off Whitman. Whitman didn't question its authenticity. He took this Walter's word on it. And come on, that's just so over the top. Look at that Zeppelin. I mean, come on.
It's not even probably it's just a fantasy.
Yes.
All the fake enameling that you've ever seen on it.
Oh, and this is another great one. He points out the cigarette cases, and I've seen these over the years. I mean, this is like he says. This is just so over the top. All this ornateness. They didn't have that. They had usually civilian issued cigarette cases that they were plain. You might see over the years some with their initials on. Really, I haven't seen any legitimate ones that really had much of any emblems on. But he's right. You see these all the time, and I've seen a lot of these Russian dealers have them.
Cigarette cases on eBay that turn up in their thousands. This is some of the worst stuff you'll see. Anything that's plastered onto a cigarette case like this is absolute garbage. It's fantasy. Most soldiers just had a plain cigarette case in their pocket, so stay well clear of this stuff. Moving on, yes.
Oh, and this is another one. I've seen these watches, but they're just so phony. I don't see how they could fool anybody. But these stamps have been around, I'd say at least 20 years. I've seen these things going back, maybe even to the like mid 1990s. I noticed these start showing up after the Iron Curtain fell. These were showing up at these shows. One time I even saw it was some guy with an accent selling them at a local flea market, and they weren't cheap. These guys wanted like $250, $300 a stamp. And they even aged, they have wooden handles, and they even like aged them. I don't know if they get like handles from old post office or company stamps, and then they glue these new phony things on there. But this kid is completely right. These things have been around for years. So let's continue on with the boy.
If you need to know the time, check your Death's Head watch.
Yeah.
As well, and if you want to stamp those documents, you want to stamp those LessOS membership, the lunatic rubbish ever.
And here,
the top
now I have to say, this is a site that he gets on here. Let me see if we can back this up. Let me see here. That goes there. This is a website. This is one I'm not sure.
This place here is quite famous. Private Collections CA for some of the most lunatic.
I've never seen this site. I'm going to have to go out just for shits and giggles and check it out. But it's crazy. He shows here, wooden handles off the door, I guess, to the gas chamber, and then you got this thing off. I mean, that's really sick, morbid stuff, and they're selling that. I'm gonna have to go over there and take a look at that. Maybe I'll do a critique over there too, But that's one side I wasn't even aware of. But let's let the boy continue on here.
Rubbish ever. Up the top there, he's got a door handle from Auschwitz.
I know.
As well as a
probably
this is just
probably off a demolition building in Prague, Czechoslovakia. They get old period things and they come up with these stories. Unless that had provenance, that it was like a GI or a Soviet soldier, and you can verify their identity, that's just nothing.
So this is how depraved and damaged this.
Well put.
We've got people who sell stuff like this. So guys, just stay away from it.
Oh.
To finish off this video, I want to finish with something that I want to call a open letter to Whitman Militaria. And what I want to address here is to say that Tom And please listen to this, as from your comments on your videos, you do watch my stuff, so please watch this. What you're seeing here is the golden period of your channel. These are the videos I loved, right?
And you know what? He's right. I love Whitman's videos, and his earlier ones where he just goes around randomly and looks at just different items at the shows. That was fascinating. But then kind of lately he's been featuring his buddies and, you know, helping them pawn off their garbage, their fake items, which I'm going to do a little piece here after I get this done. And it will kind of get into a little bit of that. But anyway, let's let the boy continue. He's right.
You walked around the show and you just went to random people. You went around to actually show the shows you went to for what they are.
Yes.
The stuff that's been coming out recently is just the puff pieces for Walter and the puff pieces for your sort of known mates, you know,
yes,
and the cronies and all the people who sort of show these very sort of easy to pick out fakes. So just go back to what you used to do. Going around and just showing people
that's right.
The shows, because if I watched it today as a viewer who'd never been to the show, you know, I'm quite lucky that I've been about 8 or 9 times now to the SOS show, I would say, what the fuck is going on? Look at this garbage that's being sold there.
Yeah, and you know what's really troubling too is the Max show, when Whitman co-founded that, he had, and it might still exist, he had like you have a Max show certified dealers in which they are certifying that the pieces they're selling are original, and if they're not, you're going to get your money back. And you know, I had my one friend a few years ago, we separated. He walked down another aisle and I walked down one on my own, and then I meet up with him a little later at the show, and he produces this Nazi helmet, and he says, "Whoa, look at this, I got this German helmet and I paid $700 for it. What do you think of it?" And I looked at it, and you know, it was very heartbreaking to tell him that it was a phony. The liner was all wrong. It was one of those thick Russian, the ones the Russians make, they're like a thicker leather, and the grain of leather is different. If I had one here, I'd show you, but I don't. Fortunately, I didn't buy one. But anyway, everything was wrong. The strap, the liner, the paint, and so it was bad news to break to him, and he really didn't believe the old colonel. So we went over to another collective friend who he's an expert, and he looked at it and he concurred with my opinion. And fortunately, this was a Max show, and it was a Russian dealer, and he very reluctantly gave this boy his money back. And I think he only did that. This was before the SOS show buyout. They bought the show, the Ohio Valley Military Collectors Association, that society. They're a very fine group. They bought out the Max show, and I'll be honest with you, I don't remember if they still have that certified Max dealer award. You know, you would put up the banner with the Maltese cross, the Poor Dealer Merit with the Max show emblem on, that show that you are a prestige premium Max show dealer. I don't know if they still have that. I'll be honest with you, I really didn't look into it or think about it. But that saved that boy, because if that was any other type of show, that Rusky would have told him to go pound salt. He would have been out the money and just had himself a phony helmet. So I can't say any more, I guess, on that, but
go back to these shows.
He should go back to what it was.
Stuff, all right?
And that's pretty.
Guys, that's how we're going to sign off for this video.
That's pretty much his video. A very good video.